Hiya, it's former Deputy Prime Minister, proud working class hero, basic instinct enthusiast, and still fourth sexiest woman in the UK according to a BBC poll, and I am not resigning from that position, Angela Rayner. And welcome to another no-brainer with Angela Rayner. Well, it has been a very productive few weeks. I've had time to myself to think things through, stick me trotters up, relax, and make a few loose plans for the future. Maybe I might go over to Australia next month. Don't know, haven't quite fully decided yet. And if I don't go, I think somebody like Nicola Sturgeon may be going. Who knows? But we'll have to see what happens. But this week I have been very, very focused on the Us Labour's Party conference. I've been watching everybody and I think it has been very, very interesting. I have to say, Us Labour's have truly shown the country exactly who we are. I really do think that. And it started with a bang. Our Kia went striding in hand, with our Tories gripping her so tightly you could see that they are absolutely solid, those two, both smiling, and she had a big pair of sunglasses on and people said, it's not sunny, what's she wearing them for? Well, our Tory gets overcome with emotion, and I think she just loves being with our Kia so much. You could tell how happy they are together, and I think it just all got a bit too much for her. But it was brilliant. I mean, the speeches were absolutely cracking. I think my favourite speech was from our Steve, who took over from me as the new housing minister, and he said some lovely things about me, and he called me a working class hero. I'm happy to take that title, Steve. I think that was very nice, so thank you very much. And of course, our Wes said some lovely things as well. He talked about how I've come from a working class background and started off as a carer and then became the Deputy Prime Minister, and that is no easy thing to do, and that they're all so proud of me, that they miss me, and that I've got to come back. So I will defo be coming back. I think a few things have to change first. Maybe after that I will certainly be making my way back to the front bench where I belong, and we'll just have to hope that it's sooner rather than later. But I'm sure everything will work out exactly how it is supposed to. And of course, our Yvette did a wonderful speech. She was tough talking. She called reform plastic patriots, and that was very much the theme of this conference. It was about patriotism, and there was a lot of flags everywhere, and it was important. I noticed in the Us Labour's WhatsApp group, we were asked to, if we came to the conference, bring a couple of flags, just a couple of little flags with you, especially if you're on the front row. Have a George Cross in one hand and then a Union Jack in the other hand, and then when you're clapping your hands together, you're also waving your flags. And I think the public could see exactly what we were doing with that, and it was very, very effective. Unfortunately, there were a few people in the Us Labour's WhatsApp group who weren't very happy about it, because they said that they have a very strong allergic reaction to the George Cross flag. So we had to come up with an idea of how we can get around that, and we decided if you put like a laggy band on your wrist, you could stick the flag down it, and then there is a gap so there's no flag to skin contact, and then you can clap your hands and wave your flag at the same time without any sort of medical emergencies. So it worked really, really well. Speaking of medical emergencies, I think there was something going on with our Rachel as well. Somebody needs to check her settings. I don't know what's happened, but her eyes were leaking, so I hope that she's back on a pod now and somebody's dealing with that. But of course, the best speech of the conference was from our Kia. I have to say, I was a bit surprised at him, because he was dropping the F-bombs. He dropped a few F-bombs actually. He said frigates. He kept saying frigates. 4 or 5 times he said frigates. And then he moved from frigates to Farage, and he kept talking about Farage and Farage and Farage, and people said he is living rent-free in the Prime Minister's head. No, he's just making it very clear of what a massive threat Farage and reform actually are, and how dangerous they are, and how we've got to go into battle with them, and how we've got to stand up and fight And people are saying, well, that is incitement to violence. I don't think that's a very good... No, it's not. It is just... That's what they do. That's not what we do. We defo don't do that. We're just saying we want people to be safe from people like Farage. So we just got to warn everybody about him. And I think that was very important. Now, our David did an interview after that, and he was asked, do you think that Nigel Farage is a racist? Because the Prime Minister stated that he's got very racist policies. Do you think he's actually a racist? And he wouldn't directly answer, but he just said, you know, he did flirt with the Hitler Youth. And people said, that is absolutely outrageous. You can't be saying things like that. And I have to say, if you've ever met Nigel Farage, he's a very flirty man. He is. He's very flirtatious. I can quite see him flirting with someone who looked a bit like Hitler. It's possible. It is possible. Our David did walk it back afterwards in a different interview. He didn't say sorry. He just walked it back a bit. And of course, the far-right adjacent media have come after him for it. But that is what the far-right adjacent media do. They can't help themselves. It's pretty obvious why. Of all the people that you could have slagged off, you've decided to slag off our David. You're picking on our David. And we all know why that is, because you're so bigoted. You're just racist. This is exactly why we've got to warn about the far-right adjacent, because this is what we end up getting from them. It is absolutely disgusting. And I'm sorry, but I am very proud of our David. He might say a few silly things sometimes, but his art is in the right place, and that is the most important thing. But do you know what? It doesn't matter what you say, and it doesn't matter what you do. Us Labourers are going to continue to go from strength to strength. I'll see you again on another No-Brainer with Angela Rayner.